The ASC 606 IFRS 15 Revenue Recognition Standard applies to organizations in all industries. Impacts from the standard include changes to the timing of accounting events, extensive judgment required, and retrospective adoption. Discover how Oracle Revenue Management Cloud is purpose-built to ensure your sales transactions are consistently recorded in accordance with your policies reflecting the standard. While all sales transactions are impacted, customer contracts with multiple goods and services are particularly impacted by the standard. The standard's 5 steps include identifying and valuing the contract's performance obligations. Let's look at an example on how Oracle Revenue Management Cloud performs the 5 steps. In our example, the sales contract has 6 goods and services that represent 4 performance obligations. The client's technical accountants have determined that the first 3 goods and services are 1 performance obligation because the software and installation are necessary for the computers to work. The headsets and cleaner kit are separate performance obligations because they can be used independently. The system support is not called out in the client's ordering system, but is always offered, so it is an implied performance obligation. Oracle Revenue Management Cloud performs the standard's 5 steps by identifying, valuing, and recording contracts and performance obligations, and recognizing revenue as each performance obligation is satisfied. Steps 1 and 3. The contract identification rule identified and valued a single contract for the sale. The contract identification rule can group data by various attributes, such as customer, time frame, customer purchase order, and group by other attributes from your source systems, such as opportunity or quote information. The total transaction price, revenue recognized, and billed amount are tracked throughout the contract's lifecycle. Step 2. The Performance Obligation Identification Rule created 4 performance obligations by grouping the data using a source system attribute. Step 4. The allocated amounts are calculated based on the relative allocation method between total standalone selling prices and total transaction price. The system support classification maintenance is the implied performance obligation that is always offered and not tracked in the sales systems. It is free and therefore its selling amount customer-facing price is 0. A revenue value is allocated to it in accordance with the standard. You can perform various actions on the contract, including mark as reviewed for contracts of significant value, where you would always want to review the contracts and the performance obligations before they are processed by Oracle Revenue Management Cloud. If your contract has been revised or modified over time, you can quickly view contract history to gain insight into those changes. The Promise Details tab shows the goods and services that make up each performance obligation. Revenue is recognized at the performance obligation level, either at a point in time or over time. Step 5. In Oracle Revenue Management Cloud, the satisfaction method combined with the satisfaction measurement model determines or infers if revenue is recognized over time or at a point in time for each performance obligation. To illustrate, for the system support performance obligation, the satisfaction method is allow partial, and the satisfaction measurement model is period, and hence revenue is recognized over time. For the computer's software and installation obligation, revenue is recognized only when all 3 promise details have been completely satisfied. The revenue for the cleaner and headset are recognized at a point in time when each is delivered to the customer. The Line Reference Details tab reflects detailed source document changes made over time to a contract, including revisions such as variable consideration estimate corrections and contract modifications. From the Actions drop-down, you can view the entire accounting for the contract. The accounting events are initial performance, which is generated for a performance obligation when either party acts. Performance obligation billed when the sales invoices are integrated into Oracle Revenue Management Cloud. Performance obligation satisfied when revenue is recorded for each performance obligation. Oracle Revenue Management Cloud provides real-time insight so you can reduce delays in processing performance obligations, and it provides stakeholders assurance that the 5 steps of ASC 606 IFRS 15 are consistently and accurately applied to your sales transactions.